am Jeline Lagrama Torres, a Group 3 presenter, and today I am going to discuss about authentic assessment. By the way, what is an authentic assessment?
Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education, Authentic Assessments. So, why should educators use authentic assessments? Essays and class tests don't really relate to the real world. An actual driving test, which is an authentic assessment, is the best way to determine if you're going to be a good driver. Simply passing a written test isn't enough to determine driving ability. Now, how do we incorporate authentic assessments into the classroom? Art class, for example, is based on painting and projects. Art students should be assessed by their artistic talents. The curriculum of many STEM courses today are tailored for authentic assessments. So then, try your best to relate these authentic assessments to real life for students. Give students the opportunity for more lab experiments. Next, higher order thinking skills. Now, writing a column for a school paper requires students to evaluate and dissect information. Authentic assessments such as these challenge students to create and solve problems. So, having students create an anti-bullying commercial would require skills simply beyond recall. You may allow your students' imagination to create their own assessments. Next, they must apply learned knowledge. Overall, we want our students to have successful careers, and all students must one day apply what they learned in school to the work setting. Doctors not only learn anatomy, but they must apply that knowledge to their patients. Real life does not occur in multiple choice questions. Real life does not occur in essays. Lastly, rubrics. Rubrics are mostly tied to authentic assessments. Rubric design may vary, whether it be holistic or objective. Authentic assessments are very subjective in nature, so rubrics are needed to set criteria and to set goals for these authentic assessments.
Okay, so today I am going to tackle about the steps in how to create an authentic assessment. In our report, we gathered 4 steps in how to create an authentic assessment. Step 1. Identify the standards. Standards, like goals, are statements of what students should know and be able to do. However, standards are typically more narrow in scope and more amenable to assessment than goals. So we have an example here. Students will be able to add 2-digit numbers correctly. So this example is applicable to elementary students, such as those students who are just a beginner in learning on how to solve numbers. Standards are also called educational standards. These are learning goals for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. Remember, grade level. That is why our previous example is not applicable to everyone, because it talks about a beginner who is trying to solve a math problem. So this is just applicable to elementary students such as grade 1 or grade 2, or to those who are learning how to solve numbers. Education standards like Common Core are not curriculum. In other words, the Common Core is what students need to know and be able to do, and curriculum is how students will learn it. So in the curriculum, we are there to learn about the standards that was given to us or given to each level. Since each level has different levels of understanding and different topics to learn. Step 2. Select an authentic task. Find a way students can demonstrate what they are fully capable of meeting the standards. The language of a well-written standard can spell out what a task should ask students to do to demonstrate their mastery of it. Example, the standard talks about the globe and the location of the continents in the globe. So, you can give an authentic assessment to students such as illustrations or drawings. You might ask the students to draw a globe and locate the location of each continent among the land masses that you've drawn. But of course, it is up to the teacher to choose what type of assessment she will use, considering that it is understandable, clear, and doable. Step 3. Identify the criteria for the task. Ask, what does good performance on this task look like? Or how will I know they have done a good job on this task? So a criteria, it is an indicator of a good performance on a task. So we have an example here. So example of criteria, learning target. Students will be able to write a persuasive paper to encourage the reader to accept a specific course of action or point of view. So the criteria, the statements are appropriateness of language for the audience, possibility and relevance of supporting arguments, level of detail presented, evidence of creative innovative thinking, clarity of expression, and organization of ideas. So when we talk about music, the criteria would be quality of the voice, intonation, voice quality. Continuation, characteristics of a good criterion, clearly stated, brief, observable, statement of behavior. When we say statement of behavior, it is a statement of what students ought to be able to do as a consequence of instruction. Lastly, written in a language students understand. So this is where the level of students may vary. Example, for those grade 1 students, they can understand it well when it is written in vernacular compared to high school students. And if you have questions and clarifications, do not hesitate to put a comment below or open your questions and we will talk about that. Thank you.